Morning. We're going to get our committee meeting started this morning. This is our second meeting of the House Agriculture Committee. And before we call roll, we have some guests, and we'll let our committee members introduce their guests. I think Representative King has some guests.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I am blessed with several guests today. Starting with my page for the entire day, Davis Tyler, would you please stand? He is with his Mom Kelly today. And my husband Kerry is escorting them. I'm helping them through. He is the statewide president of Kentucky Cattlemen, and he and Dave Maples just returned from the national convention in Houston, so we appreciate all of their service. And all of my fellow members be thinking of a lot of good jobs for Davis to do for us on the floor today. He's going to be an excellent page. Then we also have Mercer and Washington County Judge and magistrates. Please stand and let us thank you for being here with us today and your service in our local communities. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else have guests they'd like to introduce? Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Representative Callaway,
Present in person.
Representative Dixon,
Present in the room.
Representative Dossett, Representative Pfister,
Present in the room.
Representative Flood, Representative Graham, Representative Imes,
Present in the room.
Representative Kim King,
Present in the room.
Representative Cook,
Here in the room.
Representative Kulkarni, Representative McPherson,
Here in the room.
Representative Pollock,
Here in the room.
Representative Pratt,
Here in the room.
Representative Rayburn,
Here in the room.
Representative Raymond, Representative Reed,
Here in the room.
Representative Stevenson, Representative Tate,
Here in the room.
Representative Thomas,
Present in the room.
Representative Tipton,
Here in the room.
Representative Hart,
Here in the room.
and Chairman Heath.
Here in the room.
And we have a quorum.
We have a quorum, and I think we've all been through enough of these committee meetings now. If you're joining us remotely, and I didn't see anybody remotely, but you have to be on the grounds to vote. Otherwise, you can just listen in and comment if you have comments. So our first item of business this morning is House Bill 273. We'll turn it over to Representative Pfister and ask you to introduce yourself for the record and your guest also.
Representative Dan Pfister from the 56th District.
Jason Glass, Director, Kentucky Department of Agriculture.
Dana Feldman, Executive Director, Kentucky Department of Agriculture.
Thank you. Do we have a committee sub on this bill? Okay. We have a motion and second on the sub. Yes.
Can someone explain what the committee sub is, please?
Yes, we can. One of you guys want to comment on the committee sub?
Yes, sir. The committee sub just reinserted some language that allowed the department to continue to charge inspection fees that was taken out in the original bill.
Any other questions on the sub? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, we have the bill and the sub before us now, and we'll give you guys a chance to explain your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's an act relating to amusement rides and making an appropriation. Amend KRS 247-232 to define the department. Amend KRS 247-233 to replace the Commissioner of Agriculture with the Department of Agriculture as the entity responsible for monitoring amusement ride regulations and inspections. Amend KRS 247-234 to require an owner of an amusement ride or attraction business to register the business with the department, require an amusement ride or attraction to be permitted, require registrants to furnish proof of insurance of not less than $1 million, require registrants to provide proof of financial responsibility in the sum of $1 million, require an inspection of each amusement ride or attraction. Amend KRS 247-236 to authorize the department to promulgate administrative regulations.
Thank you. Any questions from any of the committee members? We have a motion. Do I hear a second? We have a motion and a second on the bill, and we do have a question or comment.
What impact will this bill have on the county fair?
It shouldn't have any impact on the county fairs. What it does is it increases the liability insurance from $500,000 to $1 million. And then it does make it to where the department, if it becomes necessary, can use third-party inspectors to inspect amusement rides to make sure that county fairs could get open in the event the KDA become low on staff and couldn't do these inspections themselves.
Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Representative Graham.
In regards to the fees, that it says the bill clarifies registration is good through the end of the calendar year rather than good for a year. So will that impact someone who's already has already paid the fee in the middle of the year? And if this changes, will they still get that whole year that they've already paid for, or will they have to start with the new calendar year?
They will get the year they've already paid for. That business registration fee would only be impacted after we change the regulation.
Okay. I just wanted to make that clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, if all minds are clear, we'll take the vote. Call the roll.
Representative Callaway,
Yes.
Representative Dixon,
Yes.
Representative Dossett,
Yes.
Representative Pfister,
Yes.
Representative Flood, Representative Graham, Representative Hart,
Yes.
Representative Imes,
Yes.
Representative King,
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Cook,
Yes.
Representative Kilcarney, Representative McPherson,
Yes.
Representative Pollock,
Yes.
Representative Pratt,
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Rayburn,
I'm going to pass for now. Thank you.
Representative Raymond, Representative Reed, Representative Stevenson, Representative Tate, Representative Thomas,
Aye.
Representative Tipton, and Chairman Heath.
Yes. Bill 5 passes with favorable expression. Thank you, gentlemen and lady, for coming today and presenting the bill.
Thank you.
We'll now hear our House Concurrent Resolution 47. Representative Gordon and her guests will come to the table and introduce yourself for the record, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman and members of the committee. I do have a I am Representative Frazier Gordon. I represent District 81 in Madison County. I'll let my guest introduce himself.
Keith Rogers, Chief of Staff for Commissioner Ryan Quarles, Kentucky Department of Agriculture.
Thank you, Chairman. I do have a
So we have a motion and a second. I'll let you explain the committee sub real quick for everybody.
yes, and the only difference between the two is there is a reference added to Madison County in the substitute version.
And you may have to pull your mic up closer. You're faded out there towards the end. But
Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So we have a motion and a second on committee sub. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay. So that carries, and now we have the bill, the concurrent resolution before us. And I'll allow you to explain that if you wish.
So it's my pleasure to introduce a concept that Madison County Schools has been using for the past couple of years. Scott Anderson, who is our food director for the schools, has been purchasing produce, meats locally from farmers. And so it is actually more nutritious, it's more economical, it gives farmers another outlet for sales. And we are just encouraging other school districts to adopt this model. And Mr. Parker has some information that he would like to share from stats from the agricultural department.
Thank you, Deanna. The commissioner intended to be here this morning, apologizes that he's not, but I think all of you know the effort that he's made over the past couple of years with the Hunger Initiative, and this includes what we have done in our school systems across the state of Kentucky. From our junior chef program that we've ran for a number of years at the Department of Agriculture, to our Chefs in the School program, which is partially funded with some federal and state dollars, also down to the farm and school efforts that we have made. getting local foods into our school systems is a critical part of growing Kentucky agriculture, growing our local, buy local programs. And we're here this morning to support this and to really be able to point to the fact that it's beginning to work. As Representative Frazier said, in her county and others, we're starting to see these connections made with local produce, local farms that are nutritious and can help supplement what the school districts are getting from USDA and other suppliers. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any questions or comments, Representative Graham?
That I'm just concerned about inspections, meat inspections and that sort of thing. I take it that is still the case
Yes, sir.
in the
Yes.
process?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to make sure that that was publicly stated.
That's right. Yes, that's a very good question. And yes, it does meet all standards.
Okay, thank you.
Representative Graham, I'll follow up real quickly. All of that product that has to go through when it comes to protein or meat does have to be USDA inspected. It has to come from a USDA inspected plant. It cannot come from a custom facility as we have in Kentucky.
Just think it should be stated on the public record, so
Okay.
thank you. I believe that it was, but thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Motion on the bill.
We have a motion, second. If there's no other questions or comments, we'll vote. Call the roll.
Representative Callaway,
Yes.
Representative Dixon,
Yes.
Representative Dossett,
Yes.
Representative Pfister,
Yes.
Representative Flood, Representative Graham, Representative Hart,
Yes.
Representative Imes,
Yes.
Representative Kim King,
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Cook,
Yes.
Representative Kulkarni, Representative McPherson,
Yes.
Representative Pollock, Representative Pratt,
Yes.
Representative Rayburn,
Yes.
Representative Raymond,
Yes, I'm here in my annex office.
Representative Reed, Representative Stevenson, Representative Tate,
Yes.
Representative Thomas,
Aye.
Representative Tipton, and Chairman Heath.
Yes. Passes with favorable expression. We do have a title amendment. Entertain a motion for the title amendment. We have a motion and a second for the title amendment. All in favor say aye. Motion carried. Any opposed, nay. Trying to leave you guys out. So everything passed. We're looking good. Thank you for bringing the resolution.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Not just, obviously, we're all in on it. I'm just curious to know, obviously, Madison County is in this. How many, you mentioned, other counties, so to speak, across the states involved in this?
I do not have that information this morning, but we'll be glad to see if we can find that and get it to you.
Like my county wanted to kind of get more information, call Commissioner's office.
Come on, Commissioner's office, and we can connect you. Our Foods Division is in our Office of Consumer Environmental Protection. They lead this effort in many ways. Also, our marketing office through the Kentucky Proud Division also works hand in hand on this. But several resources, but we can check and see. And one thing I will mention too, we also have field staff across the state of Kentucky that work through the USDA school food programs that work directly day in and day out with these school district food directors. And so it's a significant part of what KDA does. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman and members of the committee, for your support.
We have some resolutions we're going to address from Representative Reed, and he has some guests he's going to bring to the table. So while they're getting to the table and situated, I'm going to just call your attention to resolution number 30, 31, and 35. They're on our agenda today. And at the end of consideration, what I'd like to do is have a motion and a second to report these resolutions with favorable expressions, and we'll take a one-voice vote for all three resolutions. And if anyone would like to cast a no vote on any of the resolutions, just see one of our committee staff here, and they'll take care of your no vote. Otherwise, all members present today will be considered a yes vote. And Representative Reed, you want to call your guest up?
Thank you, Chairman Heath. Thank you to the Agriculture House Committee. Appreciate your all's time. This is our annual highlight of certain industries, agriculture industries in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We have a few more to do, but we have 3 on today. And HR 30 is recognizing October 2022 as National Pork Month in the Commonwealth. And HR 31 is recognizing May as National Beef Month in Kentucky. And HR 35 is a resolution recognizing June of this year is National Dairy Month. At this time, I'd like to bring up to the table Mr. Nikki Ellis with the pork producers, and she's going to give a couple of minutes of highlights of the industry. And I think this officially in her new capacity. I think this is her first time before the Ag Committee, so make her feel welcome.
Thank you and welcome. And we'll go ahead and take a vote on the resolutions just so we have that done, and then we'll have time for comments. To hear a motion to adopt the resolutions.
All of them, 30?
Yes, well, this is a motion to adopt all 3 resolutions, 30, 31, and 35. And do I hear a second? So we have a motion and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. And then any opposed, nay. Okay, Nikki, we welcome, and go ahead and state your name again for the record, and the floor is yours. And your mic's not on.
See, I'm a newbie.
Right.
Thank you guys for the warm welcome. I'm Nikki Ellis. I'm the new executive director for the Kentucky Pork Producers Association. Representative Reed had asked me to give just a few updates on what we're focusing on and working on throughout this next year. First and foremost, at the top of our priorities is safeguarding Kentucky's swine herd against foreign animal disease, namely African swine fever. It's definitely at our back door. It's the closest it's ever been. And we've been working extremely hard with our state veterinarian's office over the last few months to ensure that Kentucky's farm families have all of the tools in place to continue business with minimal disruption if we were to ever have a positive case. And we're very thankful to our state vet's office for that. Something else that the Kentucky Pork Producers Association hasn't had a lot of interaction with is we are expanding a lot of our promotional efforts into social media and digital advertising over the next year. And we're going to be focusing on the 400% increase in the sales of ground pork in the retail space over the last 2 years. We're really excited about that. People getting back in the kitchen and utilizing something that is a little bit new and exciting. And we're also very excited that we've been able to partner with the Kentucky Ag and Environment in the Classroom with a new venture over this next year where we're actually having video conferences kind of taking place of field trips, and we're bringing the farm to the classrooms. We've had a huge turnout with that, with almost 1,000 students with our first sign up, and we're just excited to create that transparency and let them know where their pork's coming from. And another big mention, we're very excited. Louisville is actually the host city for the National Pork Forum this year, which is where we lay the groundwork for all of our national planning. And that will be held at the Omni Hotel March 9th through the 11th. So we're very excited for that. We're working with our media and all of our great people here across the state to make it a great experience for all those people. We're just looking forward to a great year, and thank you again, Representative Reed.
Thank you, Nikki. Wonderful job. And if the Ag Committee give her a round of applause and welcome her to this industry and at the table for the first time. So thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And before you leave the table, our Vice Chair, Representative Hart, has a question or a comment.
I just have one question for you, and it's kind of a general question. Always proud to support our beef and our dairy and our pork industries, but what do you have against the poultry industry? Do you hate chickens?
That is another resolution for another day, but I think we already voted on the resolution, so time for questions has expired. So,
point taken.
That's why you wanted to get that vote out of the way before. Thank you.
Dossett.
Yes, Representative Dossett.
Yes, and Nikki, thank you for that presentation.
Is your mic on?
Yes. Okay. Thank you for that presentation, Nikki. And when you were discussing diseases, there that could impact our herds, whether it's in the swine, cattle, across the board right there. One thing that I'm very proud of, and I know Representative Thomas feels the same way, is the Murray State Breathic Diagnostic Center there in Hopkinsville. In my former days of having a feed producing business, feed mill, that was always so beneficial for our growers to have access to that facility. And as you mentioned, the threat of diseases, how it could devastate our industry. So, like I said, I want to say how proud I am that that facility is located there in Christian County.
Yes, we're very fortunate, and just to play on that a little bit, that is actually one of the sites that has been certified to handle and test for those sorts of diseases. So we're very fortunate to have that there.
And then Representative Tipton has a question or comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe there was a recent announcement they're going to start making bacon down in Bowling Green. Yeah, I want to comment on the impact of that announcement on the pork industry in Kentucky.
Yes, we're very excited to see Tyson coming to our back door with such a huge investment there in Warren County. They're going to be producing over 100 million pounds of bacon every year there, and we're very excited. And all the conversations have been so positive. Tyson's so happy to be in Kentucky, and we're very positive and hopeful. This is just the first step into expanding more pork processing here in the state.
Thank you. Good information. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I'm going to step away because we got a few guests coming up. I'd like to invite Carrie King to the table and Mr. Dave Maples, and I think Nikki Whitaker is also here with Kentucky Cattlemen's Association.
Thank you. I'd be glad to have your guests at the table. So I know Representative Reed has introduced you. We'll allow you to introduce yourself. So again, make sure your mic's on, and that way we catch it on the record. And welcome, and glad to have you here to talk about your industry.
I'll go first. I'm Nikki Whitaker with the Kentucky Cattlemen's.
I'm Carrie King with Kentucky Cattlemen's.
Yeah, but I'm Dave Maples with Kentucky Cattlemen's. Yes.
Welcome.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to start a year as president of the Kentucky Cattlemen's Association, and we've got several things that are I find exciting. We've been working for years. This team is a great team. You've got a great staff working every day to try to further the cattlemen of Kentucky and see that they can be sustainable and make at least a living in this industry. And sometimes that's hard, and sometimes it's a leisure, but it's kind of up and down. But we are working on a couple of things that I'm excited about, especially with the University of Kentucky. We've got a public-private partnership that we're working toward. We've got a memorandum of understanding with UK for a livestock center of excellence, I guess we're going to call it, at the Woodford County farm. And I just think the possibilities are endless of what that could turn into, things that we're not even thinking about now. I think you'll see a partnership go long into the future because of this project we're working on. And also the dean of Dean Cox at the university has been wanting a new meats lab and meat science lab, I guess you'd call it, and we may be working in partnership with them to help get that built. Not that we would be over that, but anyway, we're hoping to assist with that in any way that we can. And it just seems like an exciting time, and we're working hard to further our in-state processing of beef. We've worked on some large opportunities that have kind of dodged us, but we've got a lot of smaller processors, and we're working toward seeing them expand. And with this new meat science lab, these folks that are processing the beef, cutting the meat, will be able to come in and get education, because a lot of them are just, it's hard, how it is to get people, and they might not have the exact education they need to be able to know how to do that efficiently and safely and cleanly. And So anyway, I'm excited that I believe we can see our state beef industry improve greatly through these efforts that we're working towards. So anyway, glad to be here and appreciate Representative Reed asking us to speak today.
It's always a good day when we can get together and talk about pork and beef. And I've had an opportunity to sit in on some of those meetings on the Livestock Center of Excellence. I'm excited about that too, and I hope that can come about in the next year or so. Who's next?
I guess I am. So it's always interesting in my job. I'm the exec at the Cattlemen's Association that I get a new boss every year. And I think y'all know the expectations for Nikki and I are pretty high this year. And it's exciting to have a president like Kerry King that really is going to push us to get something to happen. Just going back just a little bit, just so everybody knows, Kentucky is a big beef state. A lot of people don't know that. We're the largest beef cattle state east of the Mississippi River. Some 38,000 beef farm families in every county across the state, right at 1 million cows. So it's not a little industry. It is a big industry with a lot of smaller farms, farm families like myself. So we work with a lot of people all across the state. And as Ms. Kim said a while ago, Carrie and I and some of our other staff just got back from our national convention out in Houston, Texas. It looks like cattle prices are going to be pretty good here for the next 2 or 3 years. So it'll be a little bit easier on us. We're kind of in that cyclical side. The numbers are going down, so prices are going to go up. We've had huge demand for our product, both domestic and international. So things are looking pretty good. I want to turn it over to Nikki. Nikki, basically, Ms. Kim runs our place, and she knows the answers to all of the questions. And she's got some really nice young ladies that she wants to introduce and to talk, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Dave. So, yes, in our office, we get interns. And if you would give me a minute of time, I would really like to introduce our interns who's joined us today for this committee meeting. So, Chelsea Smither. Chelsea, stand up and wave. So Chelsea is from Frankfort. She's a senior at the University of Kentucky, and she is majoring in ag education. So in our office, we really I look at our internship more of a career readiness. We really try to put them in the areas that they're working on educationally and put them in our office, because I like to think our office has every major possible in ag. We have communications, education, everything under the sun. Catering, now we're in the food business. So she's been working in our membership and education programs. And then Rachel Kluppel. So Rachel's from Eddyville, and she is majoring, she's at UK as well. She's a senior, and she's majoring in agriculture and medical biotechnology program. So we put her with the Kentucky Beef Network so to help Becky and the crew there at the office with a lot of our hands-on cattle handling and care programs. We also have a third intern. She couldn't make it this morning, Carson Pemberton. She's from Hopkinsville. And Carson is working in our communications programs because at UK she is majoring in integrated strategic communications. I have to have notes because majors nowadays are just way beyond animal science. So, but we are so happy and proud to have these young ladies and all the students that come into our office. I think, as Carrie and Dave said, in our office we are an ever-changing market. Markets are up and down. It's ever-changing technology on our operations. It's ever-changing every year, but the thing that I always say is we have a never-changing goal, and that is to make our industry profitable. And I think that the biggest challenge that we have, and especially our due diligence to make a future for these nice young ladies and all of the students coming up in the agribusiness world, is how can we make this never-changing goal of being profitable still a goal in an ever-changing world. So that is a big challenge for our office. But with some of these new programs and projects that we have coming up, I hope that we can do a pretty good job of that. So that's all I have.
Yep. Can I follow up just a second on those young ladies? So Carson, I think, is already accepted at optometry school at Memphis. Rachel has been accepted at Mississippi State and Oklahoma State in vet school. And Chelsea's, one of her side hustles is she works for LRC right here, so she keeps me keep up with all of the stuff. So we've got some nice, talented young folks coming through in agriculture, and it's a bright opportunity, I think, going forward. I know farming's hard, but when we get into biotechnology and technology and innovation and kind of what Carrie was talking about, we have got to look forward to the future. And just thank y'all for having us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Anytime you can come. And Representative Reed, did you have something else you want to bring or ask? Any questions from our group? Representative Dossett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I wanted to say on behalf of the counties devastated by the tornadoes in December, thank you to the Cattlemen's Association. I had a conversation last week with Carrie. Many don't know that when a farm is hit by a storm like what we suffered with in December, when the fences go down, they're not covered by insurance. Cattlemen's Association has donated fencing posts there to Western Kentucky, and in the conversations I've had with individuals involved in agriculture, one lady in particular in Dawson Springs who lost her husband from the storm, and she's going to benefit by these donations. Now, I want to personally say thank you for what you've done. Carrie, thank you for speaking with me personally last week. I've said over and over during this session, I've learned something new after we have gone through suffering from this tornado. It seems there's something new that comes up of individuals that are having problems of being able to get their lives back to normal. But you are helping our individuals, our farmers at home, to try to getting their lives back to normal. And I want to say thank you very, very much.
I'd just like to speak to that. It's been amazing to see the people come forward and give. I mean, from all walks of life. But I know one of our counties gave more than $100,000 they took up to go toward disaster relief. And I know our county, Monday night we had a meeting, and they're going back it'd be the third time they're going to cook in Princeton, providing meals for people that are working, picking up, the debris, that kind of thing. And then also when we were at Houston, a young lady from Louisiana came up and handed Dave a check from Louisiana Cattlemen. It's coming from all over not only the nation, but the world. So I'm proud of the people that have given.
Thank you for bringing that up, Representative Dossett. Representative McPherson.
Yeah, I just want to thank you all for coming. We've got CPC in my district down here, which makes I think it's the largest east of the Mississippi single cattle operation, and they make such a huge impact on our area right there, and probably saved a little small town there, really, and they're so wide branching out, and it's just such an industry there that one family started and continues on, and we just don't realize sometimes what those impacts do, but they feed a lot of people, so we sure appreciate that.
Anyone else? So I wanted to add my thank you to everything you guys have done. Obviously, we've seen it from the receiving end. There has been a large turnout of donations and volunteers, and like you say, from all over the United States. Samaritan's Purse, I've talked to some of those people, and they'd be as far away as Oregon and Washington State and Texas and Louisiana. It's just amazing to see the turnout. So thank you for everything that you have done. Anybody else? Representative Pollard.
Yeah, I'll just echo Representative Dossett's comments. I'm from Taylor County, and the cattlemen's group there stepped up. Pat Hardesty there locally, our county agent, stepped up and just really helped each other out. And it was really neat to see the farming community coming together and helping each other. And again, also just the surrounding counties coming to Taylor County and giving donations and those type of things. So thank you, Cattlemen's Association, for what you do. Appreciate you.
Any final comments before we adjourn? If not, one more. Okay, almost missed you.
That's fine. Do we have anybody from the dairy industry here to testify today? Yeah, okay. So let me explain this. I grew up on a dairy farm, so did my wife. And, you know, when I was a child, when I was growing up, almost every location around my house was a dairy farm. And today, that's not the case. And June Dairy Month was always a huge thing that we celebrated every year. And we got to go stop and go and have a big meal with our like-minded people. So just a point of personal privilege here just a second. In 1982, my wife was the state dairy princess 40 years ago. And she came and spoke at our Dairy Month. I didn't meet her again for about another 6 years before we were both basically out of college before we met again. But this, like I say, it just has a big impact. If I'd have told my father that I was going to marry the state dairy princess this year, he'd have said, "Get in the car, son, before somebody puts you in a mental home." But anyway, I sure appreciate everything that y'all done, these resolutions, and it does make a big impact. I hate to see that the small dairies have gone so big, but that's just the industry. We've gone for a factory type thing, but I appreciate everything y'all do. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I just received a note from our assistant Susan here that said there's 398 dairies left in Kentucky, and it's I have milk in my cereal every morning for breakfast, so I'm really glad for our dairy farmers. Nothing else. Our meeting is adjourned.
So, Sean, it took me 6 years.
Yeah. You take his stuff with you, you just leave it there.